Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to wait for you guys to come on in. How's everyone doing? Good morning. If you can see me or hear me, put a fire symbol in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Facebook. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome, YouTube. Sumi Lace, good morning. Akora back. Good morning, Betty K. Good morning. Soto Mimi, good morning. Soto, yes. Okay, you can hear me. Creative Soft, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your comment. Destin Tycoon, good morning. Garden Kara, good morning. DLJ says, good morning. Do you have your own practice? I do. Mr. Rid Johnson from Orlando, good morning. Otumba, good morning as well. Double in service. Come on, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing? This is your first time tuning in. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer. And I present clients all over the United States with their immigration matters related to family-based cases and humanitarian-based cases like U visas, VAWA cases, T visas. We also handle waivers, appeals, notices of intent to deny, requests for evidence, and all of that fun stuff. We love a good complex immigration case that we have to tackle. All right. So if you'd like to schedule a consult, you can call me 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. Also, we have another number that you can call, which is the 678-325-1037. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, you can see our number scrolling through the ticker. If you are on Instagram, it is in our profile, so you should be able to see it as well. Favor from New Jersey, good morning. Newbie, good morning as well. All right, let's just jump right into it and your questions. If you guys have questions, just put them in. Obioma from Florida, how are you doing? Longest time. Hope you're having a great year. Jean Dixon says, good morning, waiting to talk to you today. Awesome. I'm looking forward to talk to you as well. Sansa, do you think it's wise for international from Africa to go back home for a visit? I'm not sure the question you're asking, but I'm assuming that you're asking me if it's wise to travel back to your home country to visit. If that's what you're asking me, the answer is going to depend on what is your current immigration status here in the United States? What do you have that allows you to travel and come back? Do you have any immigration history? So I would need to know all of those things to be able to tell you whether it's a good idea or not. Okay. All right, let's see what other questions we've got going on this morning. My VAWA case has been a year now, and I already have an EAD and an advanced parole and a prima facie determination. What is happening? If your case has been pending for only a year, you're still within a normal timeline. VAWA cases are taking a long time right now. I would say that 3 years seems to be the average. 3 years to about 42 months, which is about 3.5 years. 3 to 3.5 years. So you're still within a normal timeline. If your case has only been pending for 1 year, you will still be considered within a normal timeline. And the documents you've gotten means that your case is moving in the right direction. Typically your case will continue to pend until they make a decision on your case around that timeline. I can see tears, like the emoji of tears about that. But one of the things, I always say to people is that the key thing is when you file for VAWA or any immigration case right now that takes time, but you have a prima facie determination letter, you have a bona fide determination, you have a work permit, you have a travel permit, you're good. You are in a period of authorized stay as long as you don't commit any crime. So in as much as you want to see a card that is green, because really it doesn't even make a difference these days, because if you commit a crime, it would, even with a green card now, certain things where it would not be considered a crime of moral turpitude, there's still an issue. So the key thing is, if your case is pending and moving normally, again, you have a prima facie determination. That could, you have your work permit, you have your travel permit, your case is going normally. If you don't have any of those things, it means that your case is not going normally. It means that there's something that you're missing in your application to make those decisions. So I know that it's not easy to be patient, but the thing is, that's just the cards that we've been dealt with. Immigration and probably almost all governmental agencies just are very delayed, in making decisions. And that's just what it is. Even marriage-based cases right now are taking a long time. So it's just what it is. Just the key thing, like, I feel like I'm beating the dead horse because I keep saying it. Stay out of trouble, guys. Stay out of trouble. Do not find yourself in a position where the cops are being called on you. You're being stopped on the road by the cops for a broken taillight, for speeding, for rolling over a stop sign. Do not vote. Do not register to vote. Do not claim to be a U.S. citizen in any capacity. I know that it feels like, why am I saying this? Because everybody should know better. But no, I can't tell you how many people that I get in a consultation with, and I ask them, have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen? And they'll say, oh, no, but I have a voter's registration card. I'm like, what? Why do you have a voter's registration card? You can only get that if you're a U.S. citizen. So you want to make sure that you don't put yourself in a position to be arrested. Because if you're arrested, then you're moving over to ICE for detention, which you don't want. Okay? But your case is going normally. Damien says, it's been 3 months since I applied for the I-765, which is a work permit, category C9 concurrently. Still no decision yet. People filed long after me, and the decision came at the same office. Damien, I almost want to laugh, but let me not laugh. You've only filed 3 months, please. You're not even in a normal timeline. Like, who is the person telling you that they filed before you? Did you see their receipt? Like, so many people love to lie and tell you, oh, they filed and they got this. Like, when people say, oh, my friend got this. First of all, you don't know your friend's case. You don't know what they filed. Like, people lie all the time. So that's number one. 3 months is not even, you've not even scratched the surface. Some people haven't even gotten receipts, in 3 months. Like, most work permits come between 3 to 9 months. I mean, not 3, 4 to 9 months, but on average, you will fall somewhere in the middle, like 6 months, 6.5 months. Yes, there are people that are going to get it earlier. Do we have clients that get it in less than 2 months? Shoot, we had someone that got it in less than 30 days, but that's not normal. That's not normal. Those are people we call the unicorns, where just randomly your stuff just gets, you're just lucky and you just have it, but it's not normal. Now, if you've had it pending for 9 months and you were saying you haven't gotten anything, then that should give you cause for worry. But you're still within a normal, very, very normal timeline. You've not even entered a timeline for decision making. So you should be fine. And everybody sends their stuff to the field office, not just your friends. Everybody's going to the National Benefits Center. So millions of applications are going there. So it's not just yours. They're processing. Okay. Quiet Storm says, hi, this is the best law firm to go with? Thank you so much. Let them know. Thank you. Someone says, what is the current I-130 processing time? I cannot give you that because an I-1 processing time is not the same for everyone. The I-130 time, the processing time is very, very different for every single applicant, depending on what kind of application that you're filing, whether you're filing based on marriage, based as an immediate relative, or one of the 5 priority category. It is going to change for every single person. So if you tell me what you are, like, or what you're filing for, then maybe I'll be able to narrow it down. But you can also find this information yourself by checking USCIS processing times. Just Google USCIS processing times. It will take you to the website, and then you can type in your field office or your service center, which will be on the bottom left of your receipt, and it will tell you. Okay. Um, Jennifer from Boston, good morning. Jenna, good morning. I filed an I-130 and 485 for my parents in March of 2023. My mom received her green card in July of 2024, but dad's I-130 is pending. Is it normal? No. Well, I guess if your dad is here in the U.S. and you file a 485 for him, I would say that is what that at this point, this is 2 years, so that's not normal. So I'll be curious to know, though, with your particular case, were there any requests for evidence or reasons to prove that your father was not your biological father? Did you have to do a DNA test? Was he on your birth certificate? Was he, because those are the types of things that we see when it comes to fathers. It's easier to verify mothers because, they give birth to you. So by default, most times mothers on your birth certificate, but it depends on if your father was not on your birth certificate, he wasn't married to your mother when you were born, were they authenticated? Did you not authenticate? Did you get legitimized before the legal age required? So I'll be curious to know all those things. And if all those things check off, this would be a good time to seek congressional assistance because 2 years would be a long time for a parental adjustment of status. Okay. My sister has a valid case for 28 months. She has removed her case. Her law not filed, only for valid, no adjustment of status. Now I don't understand your question. I don't understand the question, newbie. I don't understand the question. Are you saying that she only filed VAWA? Yeah, if she only filed VAWA without an adjustment of status, yes, she's not going to get a work permit if that's what you're asking. Because the VAWA, if you file a standalone VAWA application, maybe because you're not eligible for adjustment of status or something, you're not going to get a work permit until they approve your VAWA case. Okay. All right, let me take some questions on Instagram today. Okay. Chinyere Obio Akafa said, joining for the first time, can I have your phone number? It's 407-995-6567. It's also, if you just check my profile when you get off this live, it's also on there. You can also send us a message to WhatsApp 404-333-8751, or you can call our Atlanta line, which is 678-325-1037. What evidence can you use for a valid case for parents of a U.S. citizen son? It will be too long a list for me to go over with you. I'm happy to schedule a consultation with you. And if you're eligible, we'll be able to provide that to you. Okay. How long are Nigerian interviews taking? What kind? Depends on what kind of interviews. The good news, though, is that fiancé visas, they've started forwarding them again to Nigeria for processing. So that's the good news because, you guys know since last June, they were in processing fiancé visas, but they are back to processing them for Nigeria. Okay, let's see what other questions. Dustin said 3 years plus in VAWA, no answer yet. Is this your experience with your other clients? Dustin, it just depends. Everybody's different. I just talked about this. So if you just joined in, maybe if you tune into the first part, you see what I said, which is at 3.5 years. If after 42 months, which is right now their published timeline, nothing, then we can definitely do an inquiry. I don't know who your client is. If you're our client, if you're a client and it's past that 42 months, we can do an inquiry for you just to see, if we can get them to move the needle or let us know if there's something holding them from making a decision so we can provide that so they can make a decision. I-130 cases seem to be taking long too. Honestly, everything is taking a really long time. It's taken a really long time. Is it advisable to take a lawyer to your marriage-based interview? Absolutely. I'm a lawyer, so you shouldn't even be asking me that question. That's a question that you don't ask a lawyer. Of course you should take a lawyer with you to your interview. Things right now, the stakes are really high. In the past, you can try to dibble dabble and make a mistake, and you're not penalized for the mistake, but you're one mistake away from ICE detention and an NTA. And, an NTA means a notice to appear in front of an immigration judge for deportation. So, we're seeing that, USCIS is taking longer, to make decisions, even after interviews. We're seeing that, they're getting really into it, even for interviews where they're together, as opposed to where they have Stokes interviews. So you really need to have your ducks in a row. Sometimes people say, oh, can I just fill out the form myself or whatever? Sure, go fill it out yourself. Just like, can I just watch a YouTube video and learn how to, put engine oil or fix my tires or whatever it is? Sure, I can watch a YouTube video to do that. But the thing is, you cannot determine or know every variable related to your application, because this is not what you do for a living. So it is always a good idea to have sound legal advice and counsel for someone who deals with hundreds of this, hundreds, year in, year out, goes to several interviews, then knows what to expect, knows the kind of questions they will ask you, knows how to look at your application from a strategic standpoint. I say this all the time. People think, oh, it's just a bank statement. It's not just a bank statement. When you give me a bank statement, I'm looking at the bank statement. Who's putting money in the bank statement? Why is it saying that this bank statement money is going in from Pennsylvania when you say you live in New York? So these are things that you're not thinking to check for, because this is not what you do for a living. You're not an officer, neither are you a lawyer who knows the types of things that they're looking for. Same thing with the kinds of different evidence that you send. Are you sending me evidence of just you and your spouse, just in random places where nobody else is in your house, that looks staged? Are you sending me pictures of your wedding day where neither of you bothered to even brush your hair or comb your hair? I don't know about y'all, but most people look decent for their wedding days. So these are things that we look at as lawyers to make a determination. Is this a good evidence to send to USCIS? Because for me, my job as an attorney is to make sure that I make sure, it's like taking an exam, right? You prepare for your exam so that you can go in there and you are ready for every question they're going to ask you, right? Or a job interview, right? You want to present yourself in the best way possible to get that job. Your green card is the job of a lifetime, right? It's the job of a lifetime. Why is it the job of a lifetime? Because one, your green card, not only is it going to give you mental and physical sanity and peace of mind, for many people, it changes the trajectory of your life and your generation's life, right? So why would you risk it, especially in an administration right now that is very anti-immigration and is touting to be able to deport more people than any other administration? Why would you even try to dabble in it? So I hope that's a good enough answer for you. Okay, so my VAWA is already past the 42 months timeline. Also, my response to the RFA has been 120 days now, and still yet to hear from them. So you are irate. You are the perfect example of somebody whose case will pass the normal timeline. When you have a request for evidence, that delays your case. Why does it delay your case? Because you're essentially saying to someone, if I'm reviewing packets, I get to this packet, okay, this person needs a request for evidence, move it over, let me continue reviewing. And then you're basically coming back to the fold. So that's why. Now, since it's been 6 months, you can definitely do an inquiry. Since it's been 6 months since you sent your request for evidence, just to see, check, make sure they received it. Do they need anything else to make a decision? Because you've passed the timeline, but something like this is what would typically cause a delay. Okay, let me answer this question. Laura says, good morning. Can you please clear up a debate? A person who entered the U.S. legally and overstayed, who later married a U.S. citizen and filed the paperwork to obtain a green card. She received a work permit and the I-485 and the I-130 is pending. She has no criminal record. The question is, if immigration says that you're overstaying can be forgiven, why are they still being detained or deported? So they are not being detained. I don't know of any being detained or deported unless there's a criminal record or there's a deportation notice to appear in front of an immigration judge personally. I personally do not know of anyone that falls in this category that you mentioned that is being deported or detained without a denial of their case, because the idea of having a visa is that if you entered here with a visa, you've been here for more than 2 years, you apply, you have to go through due process, which is that you go before an immigration judge to be able to plead your case if you find yourself in an immigration proceeding. But you should not be. I don't know of anyone. So this is so unless you know of someone that has told you the truth, I don't know of anyone. And again, I deal with hundreds of cases. My colleagues deal with hundreds of cases. I don't know of anyone that has no criminal record, no immigration record. They were not stopped by cops or whatever the case may be, entered with a visa, filed an I-485 and an I-130 that are being detained or deported without a denial. So I don't know where you got that from or who you know that has that or what's causing that debate, but I don't know of anyone. So I want to be very clear about that. I don't know of anyone. Okay, let's see. So, okay, I'll answer that one. And my vow was approved a year ago. My RFE for the I-485 received 8 months ago. How long for a decision? It's long. You can check in with them now and just see what's going on. Hopefully they can either schedule you for an interview or make a decision. We're seeing that for a lot of people that they requested RFEs, like for medicals and stuff, like because this administration wants more interviews. And as I'm sure you guys know, more interviews, less interview bypasses means more cases are taking a longer time versus before in previous administration where they could bypass certain cases from an interview. But now each of those cases have to go through interviews, right? And in order to do an interview, it's not a machine that does the interview. It's human beings that do the interviews. So it creates a backlog. So the backlog is just what the backlog is, Rochelle says, how much prima facie is the most you've seen before an approval for vow if there's no RFE? I don't know. I don't count. I just go based on the timeline. You're going to keep getting prima facies until they make a decision on your case. The way prima facie determination letters work is the first prima facie determination letter is 1 year. And after that, it's only in 6 months increments. So you will continue to get 6-month increments prima facies until they make a decision on your case. So the amount you get is depending on how long your case is pending. So as I've said, most cases take 3 years to 3.5 years. So, do the math, if the first year you get 1 prima facie, the second year you're going to get 2, the third year you're going to get another 2. That's already 5, right? And if you're 3.5 years, then you get 6. So you're within the normal, that's normal. Stainless, I see that you said, I'm on my 5th prima facie, no EAD. Yeah, that's normal, sadly. I filed an I-130 for my son, and it's been approved since October 2024 with priority date 07 May 2021. When do you think you'll be called for an interview? You would need to know a little bit more about your case. Where's your child? What have you applied for? Like, have you, are you doing a consular processing case? What is your son? Like, is your son over 21? Is he under 21? Like, all of those things make a difference in terms of what preference of the category he is and what cases they're adjudicating now. So the way you've asked the question is not enough for me to be able to answer. Okay, I'll take one more. It's been 3 months since I filed for renewal of I-765, no receipt. Notice was given yet, and it's expiring in 4 days. Wow. Yes, Shana, everybody's experiencing the same pain right now. It's really, really frustrating for me, for my clients, for other lawyers, that basically cases that don't require a legal filing fee, they are wasting time in issuing receipts. They're very quick with cases that they're collecting money, but any case that's free, they're wasting time in receipting them. Like, We've got Ayla looking into it, investigating it. Everybody's doing everything that they can to see how they can issue this quicker, but it's not only happening to you, it's happening to everybody that falls in the same category as you. Unfortunately, they're just being really delayed. In the receipt notices, we're getting them in like sprinkles. So hopefully you can get your receipt really soon. Okay, guys, I gotta jump off. I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you guys next time. If I didn't get to your question, please schedule a consultation for 7995-6567. You can also call our other number, 678-325-1037, to schedule a consultation. Again, guys, please do not try to dilly-dally with your paperwork. Do not try to say, okay, let me just fill out this forms. Okay, let me just figure out myself. This is just not the time. Like, I cannot tell you guys what is going on, in immigration. Like, you want to make sure that you are hired. No, you don't even have to hire me, but just hire somebody that knows what they're doing, to prepare your application and to prepare you for what's to come. Okay, guys, I hope you all have an amazing week, and I will chat with you all later. Bye.